Welcome to English Daily Talk, the podcast where we explore real emotions, real stories, and real English. I'm Jessica, and today I want to talk about something we all face at some point in our lives: letting go. Sometimes it's about people, sometimes it's about moments, and sometimes it's about the dreams we once built our whole life around. Today's story is about a woman named Lena, an artist who spent years chasing her dream, until one day, she realized that the dream she loved no longer loved her back. Lena used to say she was born to paint. When she was a little girl, she would draw on everything: napkins, walls, even her shoes. While other children played outside, Lena mixed colors, creating sunsets inside her sketchbook. Her parents weren't wealthy, but they believed in her. They saved for years to send her to art school. And when she finally walked into her first studio, the smell of paint and the sound of brushes, she felt like she had stepped into her destiny. Years passed and Lena worked hard. She wasn't famous, but she was dedicated. Every painting she made was a piece of her soul, bright, hopeful, and honest. But success didn't come easily. She worked part-time at a cafe, painted at night, and joined art shows that nobody remembered. And slowly, she began to feel tired. Not just physically, but somewhere deep inside. There were moments when she stared at the canvas for hours, her hands still, her mind quiet. The colors didn't speak to her anymore. It was like her passion had fallen asleep. At first, she blamed herself. Maybe she wasn't good enough. Maybe she wasn't working hard enough. So she pushed harder. More exhibitions, more pressure, more expectations. But the more she chased it, the emptier she felt. Until one night, while cleaning her studio, she found one of her old sketches, something she had drawn when she was 12. It was a simple picture of a sunrise with a little note written in a child's handwriting. "I want to paint happiness." Lena sat down on the floor, holding that paper in her hands, and started to cry. Because somewhere along the way, she had stopped painting for happiness and started painting for approval. A few weeks later, Lena received an email. It was from a gallery in another city, an invitation to showcase her work. It was the kind of opportunity she used to dream about. But this time, something felt different. She stared at the email for a long time, feeling nothing. No excitement, no spark. That night, she went for a walk. The city was quiet, the air cold, and her hands were trembling inside her pockets. She ended up near the lake, the place where she used to sit and sketch when life was simpler. The moonlight shimmered on the water. And she whispered to herself, "Why do I feel so empty?" She sat there for hours, thinking, breathing, remembering. And then she pulled out her phone and began to write a letter. Not to anyone else, but to herself. "Dear Lena, I know you've tried. You gave your time, your love, your sleep, your heart. All for a dream you believed would complete you. But dreams change. People change. Maybe it's okay to stop chasing and start living again. Letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you've grown beyond the version of yourself who thought this was the only way to be happy. It's time to rest your brush and let your soul breathe." When she finished, Lena felt something inside her shift. Not sadness, not relief, something quieter, like peace. She went home and turned off the light in her studio. For the first time in years, she didn't feel guilty for doing nothing. She just let herself be. That was the story of Lena, a woman who spent years chasing her dream only to realize that sometimes the dream we hold on to isn't the same one that holds on to us. Joining me today is Chris, who's back to help us explore the deeper meaning behind Lena's journey. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you, Jessica. I have to say, that story hit me hard. I think we've all been Lena at some point, holding on to something that used to define us.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that her dream didn't fail, it just changed shape. It stopped fitting the person she was becoming,
That's such a powerful idea. Because we often think letting go means we've lost, but sometimes it means we've grown.
right? When we were kids, we believed our dreams would last forever. But as we get older, we realize maybe the dream was just one chapter of a bigger story.
Yes, and it's painful because we build our identity around it. When Lena stopped painting for happiness and started painting for approval, she lost herself.
And that's the part that resonated with me. How often do we chase something, not because it makes us alive, but because we think it should?
Exactly. We confuse purpose with pressure.
Purpose with pressure. I love that. It's like the world tells us never quit, never stop, as if letting go means giving up. But sometimes, letting go is the bravest thing you can do. Why do you think people, even when they know it's time, still hold on?
Because we're afraid of the space that follows. Letting go creates emptiness, and emptiness feels scary.
Yes, it's like silence after a song. We get so used to the noise, we forget that silence can be healing too.
Exactly. And in that silence, we're forced to face ourselves. We realize how much of our identity was built around the things we do, our work, our relationships, our goals.
So when we let go of something, we're not just losing the thing, we're losing a part of who we were.
That's right. That's why Lena cried when she found her old sketch. It wasn't about the painting. It was about the little girl who believed in joy.
And in that moment, she realized she didn't fail. She simply evolved. She became someone new, someone who no longer needed the dream to feel alive.
Beautifully said. We often talk about following your dreams, but rarely about releasing your dreams. Sometimes both are part of the same journey.
Have you ever had to let go of a dream, Chris?
Yes, I used to want to be a musician. In my 20s, I played in small bands, wrote songs, performed in cafes. Music was my whole world. But at some point, I realized I was forcing it, chasing gigs I didn't enjoy, writing songs that didn't sound like me anymore. And I was miserable.
That must have been tough. To walk away from something that once defined you.
It was. For a while, I felt lost, but eventually I found other ways to express myself, like teaching, storytelling, even this podcasting world. I realized the dream had simply changed form.
That's such a beautiful lesson. It reminds me that dreams are like rivers. They flow, they shift, they take new paths. But if we try to freeze them, they stop moving.
Exactly. And sometimes the new direction is even more fulfilling than the one we planned.
I think that's what scares people most, trusting that life knows where to take us.
Yes, letting go is really about trust, trusting that even without that dream, we're still whole.
That's so true. We forget that who we are matters more than what we do. You are not your dream. You are the one who dreams.
Wow, that's deep. You are not your dream. You are the one who dreams. I might steal that line.
Go ahead. I think Lena would agree. Do you think society needs to redefine success?
Definitely. For so long, success has meant achievement, money, recognition. But those things can't measure peace or purpose.
Yes. Lena's story showed that success without joy is still a kind of failure.
Exactly. Real success, I think, is when your life feels aligned with your heart, even if the world doesn't notice.
That's so powerful. Sometimes we think letting go means moving backward, but maybe it's just changing direction toward something that finally feels like home.
Yes. And I think that's why letting go feels peaceful in the end, because it's the moment we stop pretending.
We stop pretending to want the things we no longer need.
And that's freedom.
So maybe the art of letting go isn't about forgetting or walking away. It's about returning to yourself.
Exactly. To the part of you that existed before the dream and will exist after it.
That's such a beautiful way to see it. Before we close, 3 simple ideas from today. 1. Letting go is not quitting. It's choosing truth over pressure. 2. Identity can evolve. You aren't the dream, you're the dreamer. 3. Peace makes space for purpose. When you stop forcing, the next path appears.
If you only remember one sentence, let it be this: I can thank the past, then make room for the present.
Lena turned off the light in her studio and didn't feel guilty. She rested. She allowed quiet. And in that quiet, she discovered a softer kind of courage, the courage to be honest about who she had become. Maybe tonight, you can give yourself the same permission to set down the heavy bag, to breathe, to say, "Thank you for getting me this far," and then walk on. If you're letting go of a dream, I'm proud of you. If you're not ready yet, I'm proud of you too. This is your timing, your life, your art. Thank you for spending this time with us on English Daily Talk. If this episode brought you peace, share it with someone who needs a gentle reminder. They're allowed to change.
And if the story or the practice helped you, tell us what lines stayed in your heart. We love reading your reflections.
Next time, we'll talk about time versus money. What really matters is success about hours worked or moments lived. Join us to explore balance, values, and how to make choices you won't regret.
Until then, breathe easy, walk gently, and trust the quiet.
This is English Daily Talk. See you in the next episode.